Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Documentary Club. I'm Jeff Jones, and with me is today is the regular panel of folks to talk about Lover, Stalker, Killer, a documentary now streaming on Netflix. Lover, Stalker, Killer, just to give you a little bit of input if you haven't seen the documentary yet, I would describe it as one of the best documentaries that had the most twists and turns that I've seen in a long time. So if you want a mind bender, check out Lover, Stalker, Killer. It will not disappoint. I'm going to put this one in my favorites pile, just so you guys know. I don't know if I'm starting a new Jeff Select service here or not, but I'm going to put this one. I don't know. It just did it for me. It had everything. It had everything that I want in a documentary. And so I guess we can unpack more of that as we move on. But I'd like to welcome everybody here at the panel today. We'll start with Susan on top there. Susan, welcome. How are you doing?
Hey Jeff, I'm doing good, thanks. Yeah, I gotta agree with you. This one's a doozy. It's scary to even think getting caught up with somebody like that. Um, just frightening as hell. It's one of the reasons I've never even thought about going on a dating website.
Uh-oh.
There's a lot of them out there that discourages from that. But yeah.
Well, it's a tough world out there. Absolutely. Yeah. And I guess, dating sites change too, though, now I think that the stigma that you have, it definitely exists, but it's less and less these days. But anyway, welcome. We'll unpack more of that in a bit. And Jack, how are you doing?
Doing good. Hello, everyone out there listening in. Yeah, I have to agree. This is definitely one of my favorites as well. No doubt. From beginning to end, it's nonstop. Not a lot of frivolous, irrelevant information that was the documentarians put in it.
I agree. I agree. And Katie, welcome. Nice to see you.
Hey, how you guys doing?
All right.
Good.
Yeah, this was a crazy one. I mean, crazy for sure.
Crazy. Like padded room crazy.
I know. I was asking Stacy if he's ever known anyone like that. It's like I haven't.
I've heard some stories of like angry girlfriends. I don't know how much of this I can disclose, how much of it's legal. I'm just joking. Smashing windows, keying cars, love, I think Jack says it. He's like, it's the basic instinct kind of, I forget what term you used actually now, but a fatal attraction. That's what you said. Fatal, not basic instinct. I'm getting my movies screwed up here. But yeah, the fatal attraction, but this one takes it times 10.
Yeah, well, I think Susan opened up a doorway. I'm married and have been for like a million years, but if I was, single, no, I probably wouldn't use a dating site. I just probably wouldn't do it. If I wanted to feel like I needed to get out and date or whatever, I think I would go with friend recommendations. Introduce me to your whatever. I would seek other avenues to. I mean, there's still a risk, right? There's still a risk.
There sure is, boy.
There's still a. Go ahead.
It just seems like there's so much mental illness in this world now. You just never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, it's like the, Forrest Gump, the box of chocolates. You just never know what you're gonna find. Just Christ.
Well, I've done my fair share of dating, did a little bit of online dating. I've never met anyone like this. I've only heard stories of things that are remotely close to this. So let's just be happy that there's not a lot of Liz's out there. There are a couple. There are a couple Liz factors, but wow. And I mean,
I just can't imagine whatever
what set her
was
off?
going right. That's the thing. What
That's the
set her off?
question. I think that's the one thing that really isn't addressed enough.
It's
That
not.
we kind of just wash over it and we don't really analyze that motive. Like, what the hell set this woman? So there's a little bit more in the documentary that we didn't share, obviously, about how the escalation of text messages, but it really seems like that one. Okay, so here's the question. Did she send the message about wanting to get serious, or was that already Liz?
That was Liz.
I think
That was
so
already
too.
Liz.
Yeah.
I feel certain that was Liz. She had already killed her.
Yes.
She had
I think-
done it.
Yeah, don't you think she was just trying to get him to say, you know, she was just trying to pump him for how he felt if he was interested in
Yes.
that. She just wanted to
Oh.
know. She wanted him
Absolutely.
to talk to her like as if she were.
So not to break down too much of the psychology of her, because we're never going to figure her out, but it's almost like she's venting as Carrie. Like she's venting as Carrie.
But it's truly how she felt.
But it's
She
truly
wanted
how
to-
she felt, right? So she's getting
Yeah.
her anger out in that platform. And then meanwhile,
You ruined my life.
yeah.
You know, when they first started
Wow.
dating, they both agreed that they weren't interested in a full
Right,
relationship,
Right. It's just
long-term thing.
friends
Just-
with fun, and that's it.
Yeah, and they both agreed to that. And I think she fell in love with him.
Obviously.
And-
And then Carrie
Yeah.
came in between that. And
Yeah.
I think she made her plan that night. Like when she showed up at the apartment, like, okay, so Carrie and
That's so
dude,
weird.
I forget his name already.
Oh,
It's just
that's
it's so
That-
incidental in this.
This is-
I'll find it.
Yeah,
Keep
what
talking.
the heck is the dude's name? So anyway, they go back to his apartment and minutes like go by and Liz is at the door. Liz is already at the door. So it basically means she's been following him. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So
Oh,
she's
yeah.
been following him. She probably saw them go on a date together and she's getting all fired up. And the documentary says like they only like looked at each other for 3 seconds, but I think it was those 3 seconds that set Liz on fire and she never recovered from it.
His name is Dave Krupa.
Dave.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
Dave. Yeah.
He had a little
and
glow
it
up, didn't he?
It may have even been before that, Jeff.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it just
We
seemed
don't know when she found out that he first started dating her.
I think she was stalking him
Yeah,
from the time they were dating.
I think so too.
Probably.
I think
Yeah.
she wanted a relationship, after whatever happened between them.
And so
for
she
him-
had her like her photo card in his iPad. I was trying to think of that one because they tracked her back that way too. So what was she doing? She was putting her thing in his iPad and then like taking his pictures or something too. She was up to weird stuff with the tech. I think she was like always spying on and monitoring every all the movements with the tech.
Woman was really good at what she did. I mean,
but
what
in
a mind.
a really disturbing way.
Disturbed way, but man,
Oh yeah.
But
but
then again, she was real sloppy to do anything from her home, like to do any.
Well, that
Because
cop's
if
home.
from that
Wasn't
cop,
it-
but which is essentially her home. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna trace you
Wasn't it-
back to your where you're renting your boyfriend, right?
interesting
Oh,
that she had another boyfriend that she saw on and off, didn't he
Yeah,
say?
we need to know more about that guy from the county that worked in the tech office that she
Right.
was staying with.
How long she was dating him, and if she like manipulated him into a dating situation because of his
Position.
job, so that she could be plugged in to hear what was going
Maybe.
on.
And
Maybe.
More
she
than
could get more
likely.
hacking, and she could be better at hacking and learn. And yeah,
Well, yeah, all of those things. Yeah.
But all
So
that,
she was Miss Sweet to him.
all that internet,
Yeah.
everything is in his name, and she's unconnected to it, so she's using him as a proxy. So she probably felt pretty secure. But it was a little sloppy considering all the other steps that she took to protect her identity, as it were.
Yeah, the fact
I
that
mean,
she lived at his house. I mean,
well, I mean, she could
if
have
she
used
hadn't lived at his house, you know,
There you
she
go.
may not have
but
been found out.
there's some pretty sophisticated. I don't know about then, but now there's some pretty sophisticated VPNs out there that it makes it really, really difficult for law enforcement to track you.
Yeah, was this 2012?
God, I can't remember the year. It's been a minute.
I don't know why that's in my brain.
It's definitely been a
I
minute.
could look it up. I can look it up.
Yeah, it's crazy. Considering her, she clearly had some really good knowledge.
2016.
There you go. Still, even then, I mean, again, it's not as good as it is, here 8 years later, but there's still some pretty good ones out there.
What do you mean that's only 4 years? I thought it's still 2020.
You're so funny. You are so funny.
My brain is stuck in 2020 sometimes. Stuck in gear. Nope. You got to keep moving.
But I think that's a good thought that she finds this guy. He's in this police department. She can kind of get plugged in and monitor things going on.
Well, she had her own family too, right? She had her own kids.
Liz?
Yeah.
I don't recall that.
I don't know if she had kids, but she definitely had a mom, and I don't know about siblings.
I thought the first person he dated, which was Liz, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He had two kids and she had 2 kids.
Oh, okay.
Because at the end, when wasn't that her son? At the end,
I don't recall that. It's been a while since I watched it.
Wait, what the hell am I seeing? No, there's more story that we didn't. That is okay. I need a second. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm reviewing this article here, but I think there's more to the story.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think I may have looked a little bit back after I watched it. I don't remember anything. Nothing big is coming to mind, but
I think that's true of any documentary. They can't tell.
No, they
everything.
Can't. No, but they hit so many of the really excellent highlights throughout this one. They did such a good job. I wish all documentaries were modeled after ones like this. And you think about, the 5-part series Outcry. That was such a well done documentary. They keep things. They keep things moving, and most of the information you get is relevant to the case.
Okay, so I did review this article. I'm gonna have to share it with you guys now.
Okay,
you're not ready for this? Nobody.
We're ready.
No. Okay. Here we go. So this is the Liz Goyler and then this is the part I really wanted to highlight here. So I'm going to highlight it. And that is more than a decade before she murdered Carrie Farver, which is the story that we know. She was a prime suspect in the death of her own 5-month-old son.
Oh my God.
And this says
and
the headline is, she framed her boyfriend for the murder of her infant son.
Wow.
Just when you
Now,
think this story has no twists left.
Did she get charged with that?
I would have to read on.
Did
bad.
he?
Too bad that
Maybe
Dave
he
didn't. You know,
did.
maybe too bad that Dave didn't do a headline check. You know, when he got introduced to her on that dating site and say, "Holy
It
crap!"
could have been me.
Yeah, it could have been me.
It was
Ask the
her who would
manipulator.
be charged, so the boyfriend got charged.
I
But
mean,
it was probably her.
you think about the extreme shit. She burnt down her own fucking house. Pardon my French.
She did burn down her own house and killed
I
her
mean,
animals. So
Who does that? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
severe psychopath.
And then
She needs to be
shot
studied.
herself.
This woman and shot herself. Yeah. In the chat, did you see? I kept taking a tally of all the things she was doing. I was like, and she killed this woman, and she shot herself,
Did they?
and she burned
look
her
for
own
the gun?
animals. Say again.
Did they look?
I
Did
wonder
they look
if
for
they
the-
looked for the gun ever.
I'm
I mean,
sure they
because
did.
maybe
Yeah.
she went back and got it before.
Maybe she went back and got it. Oh
She
my
probably
god.
left it there because it was his gun. She was going to
Well,
try and
she
pin it
had
on
to-
him.
Well, she had to hide it in the park
Somewhere, but
initially.
Oh,
And
she
then-
tried to pin it on his ex-wife, didn't she?
yeah,
Yeah.
Amy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was the
right,
whole
that's
new
right.
target.
Yeah. Imagine what she's
Which-
like in prison, to live within prison. Jesus.
Yeah, she won't do well in prison with that kind of somebody.
Well,
Big
speaking of
Big
prison.
Big Bertha will not tolerate that kind of stuff.
She is where gaslighting came from.
Yeah, I would say she's the gaslighter.
Definition.
No doubt.
So, following 4 years of unrelenting targeted harassment against Dave and anyone he became involved with, and Carrie Farver's family, Goyer arrested. She was charged with first-degree murder. Douglas, blah blah blah. That's not what I wanted to show you guys. I'm sorry. Where is she now? That's what I wanted to know. She's serving life sentence in Nebraska. She will not be eligible for parole. She is in forever. So that's where she is now, if you
Yep,
wanted to
that's right.
know.
She'll never get out.
4 years he went through that hell, believing that it was
Carrie,
Carrie.
how do you unring that bell in your own mind?
Oh, yeah, and she
you,
fabricated the emails.
Yeah, everything.
She was so dumb. Man, she just played right into their hands.
Oh yeah.
Ah.
Once those
She had
detectives figured
kids.
it
That's
out.
what else I was looking for. I was wondering,
What's
did
that?
she have kids? So she has 2 children. Obviously, she didn't get an opportunity to murder them yet. That's horrible. I think, what is the lowest of the low? I don't know. I don't think there should be a competition for like which crime is worse than this one, but your own
Killing
kid.
your own baby. Oh my God.
Yeah, there is no
You done?
hot enough place in hell for people like that.
It is a special hell. Reserved section.
Damage your own child, kill them. Sorry, I have zero fucking sympathy for that. Again, pardon my French.
Oh God.
So it says
Gosh
we
darn
took
it.
a look at Joanne Hayes now after she was wrongly accused in the Carrie Babies case. Oh, is that a separate? Sorry. I guess that's over.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So anyway, we're just looking in to see. She has some kids. She's got some issues. That woman is intoxicatingly insane, manic, bipolar, schizophrenic. Throw whatever you want at that.
You
Well,
know, is prison the right place for somebody like that? I don't know.
Well, the
woman is
problem, no,
obviously
no.
just
she can't get out,
Like you
but
said.
being just in a violent, like with violent criminal, I guess she is a violent criminal.
yeah.
I don't know if
Well,
rehabilitation is in the cards for someone like her. I'm sorry to be
No,
like
that's
that.
not what I'm saying. I'm more like an asylum or something.
Yeah.
Right. A mental health facility,
prison.
even I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah. I agree. She like being in a normal prison. Like,
cut it
if
out.
anything, she'd probably thrive and kill someone else.
Yeah.
She won't have
Yeah.
anything to lose. So
Right.
And imagine
Sorry,
that, we know there's wrongfully convicted people in there that have to live with her, probably. More than
Unfortunately.
likely. Yeah.
What a crazy, crazy story. Okay, well, what is your favorite part? If you can remember one, we'll start with Katie. Favorite
oh
part,
wow, favorite part.
or most like the part that sticks out to you the most, or
Oh, I was just blown away when they traced her back to her home and she was living with a sheriff's deputy or whatever. That was the boss of, or that was an employee of the guy that was going through all the tech. That was just bizarre. That step to me.
absolutely. That one is that's just the first little turn in the story. You think like when you first hear that, you're like, oh my god, that's weird. She must be involved with this guy, but I don't think I don't think that guy knew anything about it, or they would have figured out that he was involved. He was just another tool for her, I think.
Right.
Yeah. Well, it says I don't recall is driving but listening, so I appreciate give a little shout out there to
Hey,
I don't
Cherie.
recall.
Hey, Cherie.
Cherie, thank
Hey,
you
Cherie.
for listening and driving. Drive safely for sure. Appreciate you coming along for the live events. This one is fun to talk about. It is definitely a wild documentary with so many turns that we've said already.
What
I
about my
like the
favorite part?
pacing of it. Yeah, well, okay. Well, I was going to get to that.
Oh,
Go
okay.
right ahead, though.
No, go ahead. Go ahead with the pacing.
You lost the train of thought. You can take it.
Oh, I wrecked the
was-
train. God Almighty, sorry, man.
You smashed it right off the cliff, but that's fine.
I
It's
think
the tracks, Jeff.
I can put it right back on and start over again. Look at here we go, starting again. Respawn, as they say in the video game world.
I think with along with what Case is talking about, that they this guy he traced this IP back to a house, and then upon further examining, finding out that it was Liz that was the living girlfriend, and that Bing, like, oh my god! And there's one more part that ties everything together, and that's when they found that mint container with the fingerprint.
If she wouldn't have been, into mints, they wouldn't have been able to,
Well, she could have just been moving it. She could have just picked it up to move it for something. She may not have even got one out and fucking stole it.
right.
Pardon our French again.
I've never been in her car. I've never even seen her car.
Yeah. And finding that SD card was a pretty magical moment too. And tech guy, I can't remember his name.
I think they had her without that, but that was the
icing on the cake.
linchpin that gave them the conviction at that time. I think eventually they would have got her, but that foot and the tattoo on the foot
and the license shot of the license plate on the back of her freaking car. I've never even seen her car.
You took a picture of the body?
Yeah. Right?
Come on, are you how stupid of a... I'm glad you're dumb because that's how you get caught. But come on.
They never did find her body, right?
No.
Right.
No. Never found it.
James Crane.
Telling what she did with it. Oh my god.
Truly
we got to
sad.
get to Katie's favorite part first, and then we'll do James' comment.
Oh, I already did mine. I was first.
Oh, you were first. Did we get everybody? Susan?
No, she didn't get Susan. Susan
I went in the wrong order. Okay.
She got
You know-
wrecked on the train tracks.
I wish it was more recent that I watched it, because I'm pretty sure that I was suspicious of her before we ever found out it was actually Liz. Just because Carrie had disappeared, and it was only by text that people, heard from her, and how sudden things changed between her and Dave. You know, I suspected Liz to begin with. So I wasn't surprised, although, um, the links that she went to were just mind-boggling. I think when she burned her house down with her pets inside was really a jaw-dropping
I mean,
moment. Who does that?
how do you even?
How do you even?
Hey, James Crane. James Crane, you should write. You should be her pen pal and see if you can get some information from her.
Let's read James' comment. It says it would be it would be interesting to find out about her record while in prison and how other prisoners are treating her. So let's turn that into a question. And if you were in prison, Susan,
Yes, Susan.
and you saw this woman, what are you going to do? You going to make friends with her? Are you going to run away? Are you going to stay on the
If I
opposite
her
side of
history,
the? Yeah. Are you going
first
to
of all,
make friends with her because she could be your protection? Or I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm
James.
running
Yeah,
from her. I'm staying
Let
on
us
the
know.
opposite side of the whole place.
James, let us know what she says. To become pen pals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
James.
James.
I'll
New
help you find
assignment.
her address.
New
There you
assignment.
go. You're set.
I think if I ever found myself in prison, I would figure out a way to unalive myself as soon as possible. I
Damn.
couldn't
No doubt.
deal.
Damn.
No doubt.
I couldn't deal.
Oh yeah, I
No.
wouldn't hang out for that.
I'd thrive. I'd be good in prison. I'd have that
You
shit.
try.
I would. I would do pretty good at it. I'd be
Jones,
reading a lot.
he's the lead. He's the leader of Pod
Exercising.
A. He's the leader of Pod A.
Pod
Don't mess
A
with that.
leader. Yeah. I'd be in the barber shop and all that.
Oh Lord.
And I'd probably be making license plates for 14 cents an hour. Or some
Yeah, they-
apparel, you know?
I'd want to be in the kitchen.
I'm
That'd be-
sorry.
In the kitchen.
They really need to address the 13th Amendment.
Orange is the new
Yes.
black.
They need to
Well-
address the 13th.
So
I agree.
it's probably not really that bad for her being in prison because she's not in there for being accused of killing her kid. She's in there for probably a lot of women in there have issues and anger
So she-
issues and
So she's right at home.
I don't know. I mean, maybe half of the women would sympathize that that's what the bitch deserved or something for,
Killing her
cutting
kid.
in on her
Taking a man.
boyfriend or
Oh,
yeah,
well,
that
maybe.
sort of mentality. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
Probably.
I'm not sitting next to her at lunch, I'll tell you that.
No. No.
She's not allowed at our table. I don't care how nice she is and how many ramen noodles she gave you. She's not sitting with us. Okay?
Yep.
Can we just
I
Okay.
just
agree with that.
I will sit here with my armed robbery ladies and some light stabbing, but I won't have her around. Some light stabbing. I know. Trisha, she had some issues when she was young, but she's over that now. We're working towards getting her out. But let's hope we don't end up in the orange is the new black. Yeah, that's thanks for that question, James. That had me going for a couple minutes of hypothetical angles to see what, like, seriously. But with this lady, I don't, as I said earlier, I've known a couple of people that have done some crazy things like in the heat of passion, but I have never come across anyone to this length, and like to burn your own house down with your pets.
I've told you guys.
that's insane.
I've told you guys. I think the story. I mean, over my personal life, I was supervisor over a lot of people in different, facilities. But I worked at a place in, let's just say North Carolina, without getting any more specific. I was in printing. Anyway, her and her husband worked at this place, and they were both press operators. And it, various times, it didn't always happen, but it happened several times. They were on different shifts. It's just the way it worked. And I didn't do any favoritism to allow them to always be on the same shift. It just worked out how it worked out. And I told them that. Don't come crawling up or, promising me blah, 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 or the guy that helped me do the schedule. If it works out you're on opposite shifts, that's just the way it's going to be. And they pretty well respected that. Anyway, she was bipolar. When she was on her medication and kept to her routine, she could work, she could pretty much outwork any guy in that facility. And I'm not kidding. She was badass, and she was a great press operator.
Yeah, I mean,
she really was. But when she was off her medication and her bipolar took over, she was a terror. Anyway,
I think
they were
that's
on
exactly what bipolar is, right? Ups and downs, right?
That's right. Extreme.
Yeah.
Yep.
Some
Extremes,
people
right.
have different levels of that, but hers was pretty bad. Anyway, long story shorter, so they were on opposite shifts for a couple of weeks. Anyway, she got it in her mind that he was seeing someone else. Right? She shows up at the plant, and you had to go through security to get in. I mean, it wasn't like elaborate, but you couldn't just walk in the door. So she comes up and I don't know, she got in. The receptionist let her and knew who she was, and well, then the next thing we know, she's going absolutely bananas about her husband's, seeing someone else. Of course, I get called out there immediately. I'm like, he's right there running the press. He's been here since I think I got there at 6 that morning. He's been here since about 10, 15 to 7, whatever. He's been here all day. What are you talking about? Anyway, I got that wrapped up. Then 3 days later, 4 days later, whatever, she comes back up there with a knife, stabs all four of there were pretty large tires on his 4x4 truck.
Holy hell.
Slashes his tires, leaves the knife in the last one, pounding on the door. I'm going to kill him. I know what he's doing, and just went absolutely berserk.
Wow.
Yeah, had to literally talk her down and finally got her calmed down. He's here. He's not doing anything. You've been here all day. If you don't leave, whatever he decides to do about his truck is on him. If you don't leave right now, you're going to go to jail. If that's what you want, stay here, stay standing right there. You got until the time I get inside to make up your mind. I turned around. She left, but it caused a lot of problems. But she clearly was, man, I've been around people that had problems, but nothing to that extent. It was crazy, man. And I felt for her, and I understood. But to witness it, man, whew.
I do know of a story. I guess as long as we're sharing little anecdotal stories of,
I was
this
a
guy
great
that I knew had a girlfriend, and
I was a
she
great
burnt-
supervisor, by the way.
Oh, well, let's check out that poll quick.
Of course you were.
We got 5 votes. The question was, do you think Jack was a good supervisor? And we have 5 votes for 100% yes. Yes. So the verdict is in,
Thank you.
Jack. Your
you.
feedback is completed.
Whether
have
you
faith
were
in
or
you.
not. No.
Brown
I'm
nosers.
kidding. Yeah.
You brown nosers. You think Jack was a good supervisor?
I bet he was.
You're killing
Oh,
me,
yeah.
man. You're killing me. Killing me, Smalls.
Jack's always so helpful, so I can imagine him being a good supervisor.
I was around a lot of supervisors. I worked in factories most of my adult life, and I had some supervisors that were absolute terrors. But I had a couple of guys early on in my life that were fantastic, and they taught me what it was to be a good supervisor. They really did, without even knowing they did it.
That's
It
Mm.
wasn't
good.
like they, it wasn't like they were like a teaching moment. It's I observed very quickly how they handled because in that plant, and it wasn't in printing, but in that plant, I mean, I think we had in our department probably probably close to 200 people when we were at full capacity. That facility, when everyone was working, we were in season, 1,500, 1,600 people. So it wasn't a small place. So I'm sure they ran across everything under the sun, but these guys were really good. They were hard ass for when they had to be, but for the most part, they were just helpful, and that's what it's about. I mean, for me as a supervisor, don't take advantage and use stuff against people just because you can. And I saw that with a lot of supervisors in my life, and I thought that was awful to treat people that way. Just trying to
Well,
do
When
the
the
some
chat
people get
sees it.
like power over others, they
yes,
completely change their
yes,
personality. I've
yes,
seen that
ab-
Right.
happen. They're
absolutely.
just assholes.
If I got some power right now, I'd fire all of you.
You're
That's just the
fired.
way it is. You're all fired. Oh wait, this isn't a job. You do this for fun.
Hey, oh, I got a question for you guys.
I love it.
Have y'all seen Dirty John?
No.
Dirty John?
That's on Netflix. I think I've heard of that one, but I don't think I ever watched it.
It's a drama based on real life.
So
About
not a documentary, but something
not a
based on
documentary, but kind of
like
yeah.
based on true events.
All right.
Yes. It's very good.
Oh,
I'll have to
it's
check
2
out Dirty
seasons.
John.
It is 2 seasons and it's two different stories, talking
Oh.
about two different men. But yeah, I highly recommend it.
All right. Well, then you just gave me an idea for a new segment that we're going to do every week as long as I remember and as long as I don't forget. And that is, what are you watching now? What documentary are you watching now, or what have you seen recently? So I think you already shared yours, Susan. Jack,
Um,
what are
I haven't
what are you watching now?
I haven't watched any new documentaries. I've just been watching. Actually, I just went through my horror phase. I watched pretty much all the Hellraiser movies, all but one. One is so awful. I will not. I watched it one time. It is so awful. I never want to even look at it again.
Wow.
The Hellraiser series, and Hellraiser's been out. It began back in the mid '80s. For those that haven't watched that particular series of movies, so it's a really interesting kind of thing that has involved in it surrounding this puzzle box. For those that haven't watched it, and if you open the puzzle box, it opens up this gateway or doorway to allow the
Gateway to Hell?
Cenobites. Well, yeah, basically, to the Cenobites that enter into Earth. It's a doorway,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all about pain and torture, and they've got you forever. And it's a really interesting kind of nuance to the horror genre. And there was a. Have you ever watched any of them? Hellraiser.
I've definitely seen some of them, but I haven't watched all of them all the way through. And what's that
Yeah.
main character guy's name? Pinhead?
Pinhead. Yeah, Clive
I've
Barker's
seen him.
Because he's got
Hellraiser.
pins coming out of his head.
That's right. Well, they've basically rebooted the series, and I didn't know it until a few weeks ago, probably. On Hulu, there's a new just Hellraiser that it's actually pretty damn good. It's really well made. So I watched it a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, yeah, you know what? I think I'm just going to go back and watch them all, except for that one. And oh my god, it's so bad. I really wish they would just like rename it like awful. Don't ever watch this movie and move on.
You mean like Caddyshack 2 that we don't talk about?
Yeah, no
I
doubt.
shouldn't even have brought it up, but
Yeah, it's probably worse than that, actually. If I'm honest. But I haven't been watching any documentaries lately. But I've looked at a few that I've, of course, added to my 400 uh, thing list on Netflix. So, yeah.
got a new poll out, guys. You might want to take a look at that new poll in case you want to vote. You don't have to, of course, but we'll
Oh
see.
yeah, absolutely. That's a
Yeah.
positive there.
Is that a positive on that one?
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
Definitely a great
Oh,
supervisor.
I need to vote in that.
The
Wait.
poll out there. Do you think Susan would be a good supervisor?
Well, of course. Yeah,
Oh,
Of
nice.
course. We got too many supervisors and not enough doers around this place, right?
No shit.
Too many supervisors.
That's how it always is, right?
Holding shovels, not enough shovels moving.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Katie, did
Well,
we ask you yet? What are you watching
Yeah.
this week?
I've just been trying to keep up with a few different trials.
Okay. Let
I
us
haven't.
hear it.
Yeah, I haven't been watching any documentaries, but I was looking on Netflix just now. Did you guys watch? Or I hope we didn't cover this one already, and I have brain fade. The Tinder Swindler.
the what?
Oh God, yeah,
Tinder Swindler.
I
The
have not.
Tinder Swindler.
that's a good one.
It's
Really?
a good one. Yeah.
Another
What is it,
online
Tinder
dating
swindler?
nightmare.
Yeah.
With the with dating app or whatever, Tinder.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
really
God.
good.
That a documentary or a show?
Yes, documentary.
yeah, it's a
Oh, nice.
documentary.
How many is it one or is it a multi-part?
I can't remember. I watched it when
Maybe
it
it's
first came out.
multi. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
check
been a
that
while
out.
too. Okay.
Check that one out at some point, Jeff.
But I've
I'll
been
add it.
trying to keep up with the Delphi case. They had some hearings finally that one of the podcasters attended the hearings because no cameras in the courtrooms in Indiana. So that's interesting.
Right.
But
Gosh
and
darn it,
then
Indiana.
all the stuff with Karen Reed.
Still ongoing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then what's really interesting to me is this young thug trial
Oh my God.
where they've had two ex parte meetings.
Illegal.
Yeah, and one of them, when they got a transcript, it was basically the judge and the prosecutor coercing this witness, Lil Woody, into
Little Woody?
Lil Woody. Yeah, Lil Woody, Mr. I forget what his name is for
There's
real.
a couple jokes in there, Little Woody.
Yeah, it's also well, never mind.
Well, Toy Story 5 is coming out, so there's going to be a big Woody, too.
Oh well, I love
Big
Toy.
Woody,
I
little
love
Woody.
Toy Story.
Is it little
Yeah.
or Lil? Like
Lil,
Lil?
it's Lil.
Little Woody. Little
Lil
Woody.
Woody. Yeah.
The Tender
Little
Swindler
Woody.
is one episode, hour and 54 minutes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I can remember.
I've got it. I've actually had it checked in my list, but I've never watched this.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting
Recommend it. Yeah.
Check that out.
as far as swindler things go.
There's a new trial I'm starting today, or tomorrow. Actually, they're picking the jury today.
Oh.
Which,
Hey, does anybody
which
know
one,
what's
Susan?
speaking about? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's Nevada versus Dave. Was it Dave? Tellis.
Oh, okay.
The Melanie Little is covering it. Robert Tellis.
What's he accused
He's
of? doing?
alleged to have killed an investigative reporter in Las Vegas
Oh,
for
okay.
writing stories about him. He was some sort of administrator for the city. Very
Wow.
interesting. Yeah, he did it in broad daylight, right in front of his house with a knife.
That's
But he
crazy.
was dressed in a crazy costume. But they found his tennis shoes and this giant straw hat he had on, all cut up in little pieces in Ziploc bags in his house.
That's
Weird.
weird.
Wow.
Yeah,
People do
it's
some
wild.
weird stuff.
And they're
Dang.
calling him Boss Baby because he looks like Boss Baby. He's a real narcissist.
Oh Lord.
Man.
He's like a bunch of employees are just treating them just horribly and having an affair with another of his employees. They're both married.
Oh geez, it just keeps going, this story.
That's what the reporter, the reporter was writing all about that stuff.
Give us a break here, folks. Come on.
Well,
Well, yeah,
So-
I'd like to hear more about that as that develops.
yeah,
So
it's streaming.
just a question
Weekly
for anyone
updates.
that may know. Speaking of the Delphi case, does anybody know what's happened to Amy?
Amy.
Yeah, she was doing the podcast series on.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was a
She's
secret,
fine.
but now it's
Yes.
not. She announced that there's a new attorney involved and a court date. So
Really?
Uh-huh. It was
What?
a secret, but then I heard her announce it on a live.
Okay.
So
I didn't know that.
I mean,
I
like
didn't know they-
she announced it the day after I was told it was a secret.
Well, it.
Which is really good news.
It is
She's got
good
a court
news.
date. Yeah.
Well, plus she has a new grandbaby that's like 10 or 11 days old too, and it's her first grandbaby. So, but
Okay.
I think the attorney said knock off the lives until they get.
Really?
That's what she said.
Well, what's anybody else have anything else they're watching this week? Anything related to what are we watching this week? I watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I don't know about you guys. That's one of my go-to shows. Just I throw that on there. I love some Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I watch Seinfeld, and I watch documentaries. I haven't seen anything. Just this one this week was this was such a great documentary. It's hard to think of the other ones that I've seen recently, but I can tell you what we're going to be talking about next week. So, without any further ado, I will introduce next week's documentary. Here we go. Boom.
Oh, I saw
Oh, wow. Okay.
that. Yeah.
Next week we'll talk MH370. Good
man.
documentary, three-part series about the missing plane, the plane that disappeared, and grabbed all of our attentions for how many months were we? 6 months, just hooked on that. Where is it? Where's the plane? So we're going to be talking about that one next week. So if you guys want to stay up to date with the club, then check out MH370 before next week.
Yeah.
You
What
guys have any
wow.
comments? Have you guys all seen this one?
Oh,
I
yeah.
have.
Yes. Yeah.
What a wild ride.
Yeah, I saw that when it first came out.
Intended, right, Jeff?
What do you think happened to it?
I think it was shot down.
Oh,
Wow.
there we go.
Well, I mean, didn't it go off the radar over water though?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
I had this idea that they were trying to turn around, like they lost pressure in the cabin, and they tried to turn around, and then the guy kind of just they got knocked out, and then the autopilot just flew them into oblivion. But
there's problems with
Hard to
the
know.
turn that they're turning around thing, because remember the French reporter and all the military assets in that region, and no one had anything on radar, according to what. And I don't understand how that's even possible. How can no one else have had picked up this gigantic freaking airplane? No one. It's just gone.
Wasn't there a company out of New Zealand or something that was gonna do a new search? They thought was that it toward the end of that documentary that they talked
I
about
think
that?
that's right. Yeah, I think so.
I don't remember that, but you're probably right.
They had
I
somebody
tried
had
to
a
look for
pretty good
updates,
idea
and
of where they thought
yeah,
it was.
I haven't seen. Here, let me see if there's anything. No, I don't see anything new. Well, there
It's
is an
like they were
article.
having a hard time getting permission to be able to search from the Malaysian government or something.
I just typed this into MH370 latest news as of June 19th, 2024. Researchers have detected a new signal that could help them narrow down the search area for Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 in the southern Indian Ocean. The signal was detected after years of using simulations and advanced technology, blah, blah, blah. We can talk more about that when we do this next week.
Yeah, we'll look into that, and we're gonna record that one today. And so next week, bring your questions and check out MH370 on Netflix. And it's a heart-wrenching story because so many people lost loved ones, and so it's hard to separate
No
that
answers.
from
No answers.
no answers.
You're frozen in time. Trust me, you're frozen.
It's like the great equalizer. Like as safe as everything is, as planned as everything can be, things can go wrong. The Titanic can sink, a ship can disappear. You know what I mean? It's I don't know. I tend to lean not in the conspiracy realm, but maybe you guys can turn me into a believer next week in the live, because
Hey, it's possible that there was just a catastrophic failure and it just went down. My problem is
or the
like,
pilot just like suicide by pilot and he took everybody with him. Like that's also another.
But
He
how
did
did
do
it-
that simulation where he went. Remember, he did the simulation and he went to the
Right.
middle of nowhere. And
I
there's
mean,
not a
my
simulation?
Yeah.
very first thought when I heard about it was, if it lost connection with the radar over
the
water,
I mean,
guess.
I understand the transponder getting turned off is one thing. To say that this is flight MH370 as one thing, that's completely separate than other radars not picking that body, that gigantic airplane up in the sky. It's a separate
But
thing.
are there any spots on the planet where the radar doesn't pick it up? Where you can't pick up radar? Seems like
Unless it's
there's
intentionally not that I'm aware of, but I've never heard that. But I don't know. But again, I'm not. It wasn't just one facility. There were numerous military assets that were not connected to each other in that region. Australia had a military base. There were so many other ones that I don't know. That's why I say it's almost like this thing was shot down. Bam, gone. You're done.
And then
Okay,
stuff
Jeff,
did
pick
wash
a
up,
different
right?
one. We already did this one. Pick a different one. We already did this. You guys can have the night off.
It's crazy.
I'm sorry. I was dreaming there. I was looking at something else. What's going on? What happened?
You look like you were.
I
Yeah, you
said
just
pick
gave
a
us
different
lots of,
documentary for next week because we already talked about this one.
You already talked about it.
Wake up,
There's
Jeff.
nothing else to be said about it.
You were
Jeff, do
sitting
you
right
have
there,
a
Jeff.
copy?
You solved it.
That's just being a smart ass. Don't you know?
I was distracted because I was looking at the Tinder swindler for.
I know,
Oh.
Trip.
I was like, kind of. Oh, what is that about? I'm gonna post that in the Discord that we got here, just so I don't lose it. I keep track of things in the Discord and the Tinder swindler. But yeah, MH370 captivated the world, and then we haven't had anything like that until the submarine last summer. Now, is there a documentary about that one? About what was it? What was the name of the? It had some goofy name. Titan. Is that right? The Titan submarine that imploded last year.
I never heard of that one.
Jesus.
Haven't heard of that one.
What?
Oh,
I think
Jeff,
there is
you know
a
about that.
maybe
Do
it
I?
was just a segment on like 60 Minutes or something. I
We
can't
need a
remember. But I
documentary
did.
on that one.
Let's see.
I swear I have no memory of
Built
that.
his own, used what do you use? Like a joystick to maneuver this thing?
Yeah, I use like subpar
Materials.
equipment.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
And
I
took
remember now.
those rich people down there and
Yeah.
imploded.
Unalived them.
Unalived them. Here
He
was
had
the
quite the
ship.
ego.
The latest I heard on this one was that they knew of their impending doom. At least that's okay. So someone has filed a civil lawsuit, and so
Yeah.
they're claiming in the civil lawsuit that there's evidence that they knew of their impending doom. Therefore, they suffered unreasonable loss or damage, and therefore they should pay out more money. So we'll see what that's all about.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I mean, if you
I
hear it
also
cracking
read
all
there's-
around you, it's like this graphite hull or whatever, this carbon fiber hull, and you just hear it cracking, you know it's over. Like, we can't come back from this. Boom.
The
I also
documentaries.
heard that
Go ahead.
that they knew, like the people that went and searched, I don't know if it was the military from somewhere or whoever it was that, went out there searching for them, that they knew prior to even starting that search that they had imploded. And that was kind of just a big show for some reason. I think that's part of that lawsuit.
Well, James Cameron's been down there a few times, and he said he wouldn't get in it. So I'll just stick with him and his advice. He's actually one of the people that has gone deeper than anyone has ever gone. Like one of two people that have gone to the bottom of the Mariana Trench, I believe.
There was a show about that.
Yeah. And so he designed the proper, like he had this teardrop design of a ship, so it would just slide through the water. I don't know. It was really crazy. Definitely want to check out James Cameron's trips down to the Titanic and other places that he's done. He's a real explorer, real seriously cool dude.
There is a documentary about that. The Titan sub disaster minute by minute was released this year. It says available to stream on SBS on demand, but there's also Titan sub disaster new documentary that was released March 6, 2024 on YouTube. Let's see what channel. Global
Send those
News.
links.
Global
if you got
News.
a good one,
Yeah.
send a good link, and maybe we'll cover it in the future.
Yeah, let me watch this and see if it's decent.
Yeah, review it, then submit it for approval. No, I'm just kidding.
10-4.
I did want to get back to our latest poll, and that is: do you think Susan would be a good supervisor?
Absolutely.
And we did get 6 votes for that. Yes.
Hell,
Now Jack only got 5 votes yes. So I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm just
gonna leave it there.
put that out
I understand. I got it. I'm yeah.
Oh,
Well done.
I will disclose. I did vote for myself.
I didn't vote for Jack.
You didn't vote for Jack?
Well,
Don't
I didn't
bitch.
have my YouTube open.
Oh
so.
my
well,
lordy! There's
there
the
we
missing
go.
vote. See, that's why you guys got to vote, folks. Don't forget to vote in November. Make sure
So
you
Jack
vote.
voted for himself
No
too.
problem.
Is that what that means?
Of course,
That's
I
what
voted
that
for
means.
myself.
Yeah.
Had conversation with myself. I'm like, yeah, you're pretty freaking good. Do it.
I'd have to vote against myself on that.
Okay, so
Hey.
anything else to say about Lover, Stalker, Killer, or anything else that you want to talk about for next week, or anything you want to add for today's live, guys?
Don't forget Dirty
Definite-
John, Jeff.
Def-
Check that
def-
out.
Dirty
def-
John.
definite great watch, Lover, Stalker, Killer. Put it on your list. You nonstop from beginning to end, like I said in the review.
Absolutely. And can we just say that Dave had a serious glow up, by the way?
Serious
A
what?
glow up.
What?
Glow up. Okay, so a glow up is when you like transform and you go, and you go from not very good looking to good looking. So you kind of glow up instead of grow up.
Oh,
Never
I've
heard
never
of it.
that.
So
Did you
Oh.
make that up, Jeff?
I did not. It's actual slang.
oh, wow.
So I noticed that this guy David, he looked like a real nerdy guy when he was young, and then the David of his 30s looks like this big old, chopping wood guy with a big beard, and I thought that he had a successful glow up, and then was dating crazy women, going on dates with crazy women. So good for David on his glow up. Sorry that he almost got murdered and his family almost got murdered, and sorry that he had to go through that. And you know what? Sorry to Carrie's family as well. It's such a sad part of watching all these, because you want to eat up the content and you really enjoy watching the documentary, but
It's a
poor
sad
Carrie
thing.
lost her life.
Yeah, it's so sad. It at the end of the day, it's just sad how that all went down.
God knows what horror she went through with that
No
woman.
doubt, no doubt.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to think. She probably tortured the woman or made her,
Probably.
probably tied her to a chair and was like, now I'm going to tell him this. Now I'm going to tell him that. Now I'm going to do this.
Well, she
Yeah.
definitely had to abduct her. How did that work? How did that happen? She pull a gun on her or a knife, whatever, and say, "You sit your ass in
Yeah.
that car, put these handcuffs on," or whatever. Whatever she got her subdued, to stab her inside of her own freaking car. Come on, man, it's crazy.
Well, there was a good point that you made that she owned a cleaning company, and they didn't quite
Yeah.
touch on that enough.
No,
Like, I think you have to put that together, that maybe that's why they didn't find anything in Carrie's car initially.
well,
But then when they took the seat cover off, they found that blood that maybe she didn't expect. She thought she had cleaned. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just an idea.
well, no. I mean, you're on something, because when they got Carrie's car and they decided to limit on it, I thought, aha, they fucking got her. And then they squirted it down, find nothing. I'm like, oh wait, she owned a cleaning company. What if she had shit to destroy DNA?
Where did they find her car? I don't recall.
I think it was just abandoned. I don't think it was that far or whatever. But yeah, that was. I don't remember that being a specific sticking point either, where they got her car.
Yeah, I just remember. It seemed like I just remember them saying they found it, and I don't
Yeah, that
remember
was
getting
another
much of-
clue that, she was no longer living.
She checked
Text
out.
messages only and finding her car. Yeah.
Susan, anything else to add for this one?
I think I'm good, Jeff.
Katie?
Got nothing.
Got nothing. Well, then this one is tired old boot, and we're gonna push it aside. Move on to something fresh next week. MH370. So check that out if you haven't seen that one yet, or just check it out for a refresher, or wait for our review, and then you won't have to. So that's it for today. I really enjoyed this one. One of my more favorite episodes to cover.
No doubt.
It just had everything. It had everything you're looking for in a crime or documentary of true crime documentary. So definitely put this one on the bestsellers lists. So I want to thank you guys. Thank you, Susan, Jack, and Katie. I really appreciate you guys coming along, and I appreciate everybody out in chat as well. So with that being said, like and subscribe if you like our discussion. Come back next week and we'll talk about MH370. That's all for today. I'm Jeff Jones. This has been Documentary Club. We will see you guys on the next one.